Hey everyone, and welcome to another week of Kinder Chat. This week, I'm kind of showing you a way to repurpose some of the center activities that you might already have. So these are different center activities that you can reuse in a different way, so that way you're kind of getting the most bang for your buck. So today I'm going to talk about picture sorts. So I absolutely love using picture sorts in my classroom with kindergartners because most of them are not reading at the beginning of the year. However, to work on different phonemic awareness skills and phonics skills, it's really helpful for them to be listening for certain sounds in the word. So for example, this one is a beginning sound sort. So they would have the different letters. They would look at a picture. Like camera, they would have to isolate the beginning phoneme. So they would have to hear the k sound, and then they would sort it underneath. So typically you would use it in a pocket chart sort or maybe at a table, but I'm going to give you 3 different ways that you can use it in your classroom that is not with a pocket chart or a table. So the first one is turning it into a cut and paste activity. So little secret tip, you can print things at a smaller size on your computer. And when you do this, first of all, you waste a lot less ink that way. And second of all, you can fit it on a piece of paper. So I will show you, I printed these at 50%. So there's two pages fit onto one page. So I had to print, I only printed half of what I really needed. So this is a digraphs sort. So what the student would do is you could give them the headings. They would glue it to a piece of paper. You could have it at the top, the bottom, wherever. You can do 25% if you want it even smaller. But all they would do is just they would find the picture and glue it. So that would be really something helpful, especially if you're watching this right now in 2020 with distance learning and socially distanced centers. This is a good idea to still be able to use picture sorts independently, but instead of doing it with a group, the kids are doing it by themselves. So that's the first way. The second way is with a scavenger hunt. So with this one, what you would do is you would just tape the pieces around the room like this. You would give the students a piece of paper and tell them whatever letters you're practicing. So if you're working on B and D, you would tell them, okay, I put a bunch of pictures all around the classroom. You have to go find it. And then I want you to either draw the picture, or maybe it's a challenge those students who are starting to dictate and are starting to write phonetically. Maybe they can spell the word or try to spell the word. And so what they're gonna do is they're gonna walk around the room. They're going to be looking for these different little pictures and trying to spell it. So that is something that would be great to do after you do the pocket chart sort a few times so the kids know what the pictures are. And that way they can do a little extra practice and even challenging them by trying to spell it. The last one is just as an anchor chart. So I know that I am probably the least artistic kindergarten teacher out there. So what I would do instead is I would take the pictures from the picture sorts and I would have them in a basket. And when the student would come up with that word, I would just pull it out of the basket and add it. Or you can have the students come up, they pull a card out of the basket, they say boat, and then you let them glue it on. And so this would be kind of like an interactive anchor chart that you could do with your students. That way you don't have to try to draw each picture. You can practice spelling the words phonetically or using the sounds to spell the words. But that's just another easy way that you can use the pictures that come with the picture sort. So I do like to use picture sorts that do not have the words underneath to practice those phonemic awareness skills. And a question that I get a lot is, how do your students know what the picture is? So here's how I would solve it for my students. First, I would always do the pocket chart sort as a whole group. So if I held up a picture and they were saying boat, I would say, okay, we are working on these digraphs. So I don't see the letter B there, and that's what boat starts with. What's another word for boat? And then a student might come up with ship. And if not, you can explain to them that ship is another word for boat. So like shovel. These are great ways to build that vocabulary with your students. And so some of the words might be a little trickier. They may not have never heard of the word before in their life, but that's okay. You are teaching the vocabulary, so it's kind of like a win-win. They're learning new words and they're working on their phonemic awareness skills. So once they go into the center, if they come across a word and they're just like, I don't know what this is, you can have them ask another student, hey, do you remember what this word was? I can't remember. And if they still don't know, then they can guess. So for example, like the ship, maybe they say, oh, I think it's boat, but there's no B there. So it's okay if they don't know what it is. They can always put it aside. Definitely building that independence and having students think for themselves and problem solve is so important in kindergarten. So don't get discouraged if some of the words might seem a little too tricky for the kids. It's your job to teach them those vocabulary words and encourage them to problem solve and try to figure out the word before asking an adult for help. So thank you so much for watching another Kinder Chat. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so that way you see all of the weekly Kinder Chats when they come out. And I will see you next week. Goodbye.